What's going on, everybody? Kalipus Tech here, coming back at you with another video. This is tips, tricks, and cool features for the Motorola Moto G Stylus 2022. In this video, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks for this phone that you might not know about. Now, before we go any further, I do want to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you want to learn more about this phone, be sure to check out my full review of it as well. But with that being said, let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you is what you can do by double tapping the power key. So by default, when you do this, it's going to open the assistant. Now the assistant is cool and everything, and if you use it properly, it can actually be really useful. But for me personally, I like to activate the assistant with voice commands. So for me, since I already use the voice activation, having the power key activated too doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And plus, you can activate the assistant just by going like this anyway. But luckily, with this phone, you can actually change it so double tapping the power key opens the camera instead. To do this, we're going to start by going to settings, and just so you know, there are two ways to do this. You can either open your quick menu like this, and settings is right here, or you can use the settings app. For me, I actually put it right on my home screen, but of course you can also find it in your app drawer. So with that being said, we're going to go to settings. From here, you're going to want to go down to system, and go to gestures. And right at the very top, it's going to say double press power key. So as you can see, by default, it is going to launch the assistant, but you can also have it launch the camera. So now if we double press the power key, it's going to open up the camera instead. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to customize your hotspot info. Now, in case you don't know what it does, the hotspot basically turns your mobile data into a Wi-Fi network. So if you're in an area where you have no Wi-Fi, but you do have mobile data, you can use your hotspot to connect something like a tablet or a laptop, something like that, to the internet. And just so you know, the way to activate the hotspot is simply by going to your quick menu, and it's going to be somewhere in here. For me, it's in the second page, and it's right here. So as you can see, the hotspot's on right now. But the thing about the hotspot is by default, the name is a little weird, and you might want to change the password too. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to start by going to settings. From here, go to network and internet, go to hotspot and tethering, and go to Wi-Fi hotspot. As you can see here, the hotspot name is just some generic Motorola name, but you can change it simply by tapping right here and putting in whatever you want. In addition to this, you can also change your password right here. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called 3-finger screenshot. Now, taking a screenshot is easy enough. All you need to do is press the power key and the volume down key at the same time like this. But in addition to this, there's also another way to do it. Now, this feature is activated by default, but in case it's not active on your phone, I'm going to quickly show you how to get it. So as always, we're going to go to settings, go down to system. From here, go to gestures. And 3-finger screenshot is right here. As you can see, again, it is on by default, but if for whatever reason it's not on your phone, then this is where you're going to go to activate it. Now, once 3-finger screenshot is active, all you need to do to take a screenshot is put 3 fingers on the screen like this, and that's pretty much it. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to show the battery percentage on the status bar. As you can see right now, it's not up there. Some phones do have it automatically, but this phone doesn't, so I'm going to show you how to get it. So we're going to go to settings as always. From here, go to battery. And as you can see right here, there's battery percentage. Toggle this on, and it's going to be right up there. Now again, by default, the battery percentage doesn't show up on the status bar, and there's a reason for that. I mean, I personally keep it off just because I think without the battery percentage, the status bar just looks a little bit nicer and cleaner. This is really up to personal preference, but if you are like me and want a more minimalistic status bar, but still want to see the battery percentage from time to time, all you really need to do is open your notification center like this, and it's going to show up there no matter what. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called Attentive Display. Now, in case you haven't seen my beginner's guide, which if you haven't, definitely check it out because it does have some useful tips and tricks, especially if you're new to smartphones in general. But anyway, in that video, we talked about how to change the screen timeout so your phone wouldn't fall asleep on you when you're doing something like reading or watching a video. Now, that's all well and good, but the problem with just increasing your screen timeout is, first of all, the max is 30 minutes, which means it's not indefinite. And second of all, if you forget to lock your screen sometimes, that means the screen is going to stay on for the entire 30 minutes. And when that happens a lot, that can drain the battery pretty quickly. So the solution to this is a feature called Attentive Display. Basically what this does is uses the front-facing camera to detect your face, and as long as it sees you're looking at the phone, the display is going to stay on. This is great because it allows the phone to keep the display on when you actually need it without cranking up your screen timeout time. So to get to this feature, we're going to go to Settings. From here, go to Display, hit Advanced, and Attentive Display is going to be more towards the bottom. As you can see, this feature is not on by default, but of course all you need to do is toggle it on. Once you register your face, it's going to be all good to go and it'll stay on until you turn it off. The next thing I'm going to show you is a feature called Fast Flashlight. Now this feature, as the name suggests, is a quick way to turn on your flashlight. Now in case you don't know, this is how you normally turn on the flashlight. But Fast Flashlight allows you to do it with just one gesture, regardless of whether or not your display is locked. So to get to the Fast Flashlight feature, we're going to go to Settings. From here, go down to System. And from here, go to Gestures. And Fast Flashlight is right here. As you can see, this feature is actually on by default, but again, if it's not on your phone, this is where you're going to go to turn it on. Now, once you've verified that this feature is active, all you need to do to use it is simply go like this. Now the motion does take a little getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, it's really easy. So one more time. You're basically just flicking your wrist and it's going to turn on. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to end a call with the power key. Now this is a pretty basic feature, but a lot of people have been asking about it in my other videos, so I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. What we're going to do is go to Settings, go to Accessibility, and from here scroll down a bit, and right here, Power Button Ends Call, toggle this on. And now whenever you're on a call, all you need to do to hang up is simply hit the power button just once and it's going to end the call. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to customize your theme. Now this is actually pretty interesting. Honestly, probably just because I rarely play around with this, because I'm pretty sure every Android phone in existence can do it. But in case you don't know, to get to the theme settings, probably the easiest way is to simply press and hold a finger on your home screen. From this little menu, go to Styles. And here, we're going to get a few options to play around with to change the appearance of your icons and buttons. So for example, we're going to hit Marine. And now if we keep it like this, if we go back to the home screen, it's going to look completely different. Quick menu, as you can see, the icons do look different. So it gives you a little bit of freedom to customize things and give your icons and buttons and all that a little variety. Now you can also make a custom theme by going here. In here, you can create your own theme from scratch. Pretty cool overall, definitely a lot of options, so for sure, something you can really play around with. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to customize what's called the peak display. Now, if you've ever used a Samsung phone, you might know this as the always on display. It's pretty much the same thing. It's basically like this in-between screen where your display is technically not on, but it kind of is at the same time. Now, if you've never seen this before, it's probably easier to just show you. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on so you can see. So what we're going to do is go to Settings. From here, go to Display. Go to Advanced. Peak Display is right here. Turn this on. And now if we lock the display, this is basically the peak display. We also got some options to change here. So if we go to Settings, you can customize the clock style, turn the animation on or off, turn on tap to wake, which I think is a pretty cool feature. Vibrate on touch, safe reply. Basically, if you get a text message or something like that, this is going to prevent just anyone from grabbing your phone and replying to that text. Now, I don't really know when that kind of situation would happen, but it's still a cool thing to have. And you can also block certain notifications from certain apps, which can be a useful feature as well. So now that I have tap to wake on, if we lock the display again, double tap it, and it's going to show right up. The last thing I'm going to show you is a feature called Adaptive Brightness. Now what this feature does is basically adjust the brightness of your display based on your environment. So if you're in an area with really high lighting, it's going to brighten up the display. And if you're in low lighting, it's going to dim it so it can save battery and prevent it from being too hard on your eyes. So to get to adaptive brightness, it's really easy. We're just going to go to Settings. From here, go to Display. And adaptive brightness is right here. And as you can see, once I turned the feature on, it did dim the display just a little bit. Now this feature is definitely not for everyone though, myself included. I don't personally really like it. It always ends up dimming the display way too much in my opinion, but I definitely recommend trying it out and seeing if you like it because it's really going to be up to personal preference, and for some people it might work really well. But those were my tips, tricks, and cool features for the Motorola Moto G Stylus 2022. I hope you found this video useful and informative. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And once again, if you do want to learn more about this phone, be sure to check out my full review of it as well. But that's it for this video. As always, I will see you in the next one.